Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We meet again topic 6 on market structure. This time is the part 4. So part 4 I will explain on the third and also the last market structure, which is monopolistic competition. So I have explained about monopolistic competition in part 1. So if you see monopolistic competition market structure is what most of the industry is operating in. So we can see what are the characteristics of monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competition is the market structure that have many buyers and sellers. However, the firm in the industry produce a differentiated product, or sometimes we call it as heterogeneous product. However, there is free entry into and exit from the industry. So if you see the key difference between monopolistic competition and perfect competition is the differentiated product. So if you look at the other two characteristics here, many buyers and sellers, and also free entry and exit from the industry, it is like the perfect competition. So the differences is only this differentiation, the ability to differentiate the product, in which because they are able to differentiate the product, even though they can be substitute to each other, but they are not perfect substitutes. For example, like when we look into the example here, right? McDonald's, Fridays, Burger King, for example, if you look into this fast food industry, all food, or more specifically, all fast food. So they are basically the close substitutes. For example, if we want to eat pizza, we can choose between Domino's or Pizza Hut, but some of us may like Domino's more, but some of us may like Pizza Hut more, and we can differentiate the menus. So that is basically why, right, even though they are like perfect competition, but because of the substitution is not perfect, the product is not similar, it's not identical. The firm's demand curve is not horizontal like perfect competition, but the firm's demand curve in monopolistic competition is downward sloping. Alright, so when the curve is downward sloping, you can guess that it is more like the situation of monopoly. So if you understand the monopoly very well, then for monopolistic competition, it will be easier to understand. So when we talk about profit maximization rule for the monopolistic competition, then it is the same with monopoly, in which the rule is again MR equal to MC, and then the profit maximizing price is P, in which the P here we need to know the value of Q. So when we look into this profit maximizing monopolistic competitive firm, is the same with monopoly, in which the demand curve is downward sloping, and we also have the MR curve. And when we want to decide the output that will maximize the profit, then the conditions or the rule just now is similar like monopoly, MC equal to MR. So this is the Q star here, the optimal Q for this firm in monopolistic competition. And when we want to decide the price, it should be the corresponding Q, which touched the demand curve just now. So this is the price level. So this is P multiplied by Q, then this whole rectangle is the total revenue. So if we want to show the profit, we have to draw the average total cost curve. Okay, and at this Q star, this is our ATC, right? So this is our average total cost curve value here. So this lower or the smaller part of rectangle, this is our total cost, yeah, average total cost multiplied by Q. So the profit, okay, is this area, right? So this is the profit, how we want to illustrate for monopolistic competitive firm, just like what we have learned in monopoly. Alright, so for the long run, okay, however, in the long run, the monopolistic competitive firm, the characteristic is there is a free, free to enter and easy to enter, easy to exit. They don't have barriers like monopoly. Okay, so in the long run, if the industry is making positive profit, then more firm will enter, okay, into the industry to capture some of this profit. So if there is losses, the firm will exit. Okay, just like the perfect competition. So what happened is, if we want to show, for example, like there is an entry, in monopolistic competitive market, so what will happen to the demand curve? Yeah, we'll see that the demand curve here will rotate to the left. Why it rotates to the left? Because when we have more and more firms entering the market, and the product is substitutable, even though it's not perfect, so the demand for this particular firm will shift to the left, so to the marginal revenue curve. Okay, so this is because, right, you have more competition, yeah, because easy for a new firms to enter into the industry, yeah, so that's why the demand curve here shift to the left. All right, however, in terms of the Q, all right, the Q star, the optimal Q, is still the same rules, MR equal to MC, just that you can see that the old one should be here, right? The Q is here for this firm, but then the Q now has been reduced because the demand also has fallen. So in the long run, for the monopolistically competitive firm, right, is the same case with perfect competition, in which the firm will only earn what we call as normal profit or zero economics profit. Okay, what does it mean by zero economics profit? Here is your total revenue. Okay, you see here again, this is MC equal to MR. Okay, this is our Q, but your ATC here touching a point where it is equal to P, right? So this is also the rectangle for total cost. Yeah, so in this case, the total revenue is equal to the total cost. So this is where we said that in the long run, the firm get only the normal profit. Yeah, so this is the long run equilibrium for monopolistically competitive firm. Okay, so we can conclude that the production level of output for firm in monopolistic competition market structure, the price is always more than the marginal cost, okay, because they have the market power just now. Okay, but the price also can be at the average total cost, right, in which it touch the minimum, it is more than the minimum of average cost. Yeah, I can show back this one, right? The minimum cost is here, right? But the average total cost that touch the point, okay, of Q just now is higher. Okay, it's not at the minimum here, right? Because the market power that a firm in monopolistic competitive market structure has. When we say market power just now, meaning that they are not price taker, they can charge different price because of the differentiation just now. Okay, so product differentiation is a very important characteristics of firms in monopolistic competitive market structure. Alright, so that's why when you learn marketing, for example, normally we are talking about firm in this monopolistic competitive structure, in which we are talking about innovation. For example, we are talking about your unique selling proposition on how to be different from the competitors. This is actually very simple. Okay, of course, more strategies actually you learn in a marketing subject. Okay, but this is just to show that when the firm is in monopolistic competitive industry, then you have to persuade the consumers because you have other competitors that sell more or less the same goods as yours. Okay, so in terms of promotion, sometimes you can use what we call as comparative advertising, but comparative advertising actually is advertisement in which you compare your product with the competitors, but to be exact, comparative advertising is not actually legal in all the country, because in US, for example, they can directly or explicitly mention who the competitors is. For example, if you watch Pepsi Cola and Coca-Cola advertisement, okay, they can show, okay, if it is a Pepsi advertisement, and they can show that the competitor is Coca-Cola. But in Malaysia and most of parts of the world, it is not allowed. Okay, normally we will change that into brand X. Okay, but actually we know who the other company or the competitors is. Another thing is okay, one of the strategy as well is what we call as niche marketing. Okay, if you learn marketing, you know that niche marketing is you focus on a very specific segment or target market. For example, here like green marketing, or maybe it's very niche, in which, for example, if you mention body shop, and then you know that they are organic products, or if you mention like Johnson and Johnson, then you know, oh, niche to the children and baby, for example, but now they also have adults, they venture into other segment. And of course, what is important for a firm, okay, they cannot be what we call as brand myopic. Brand myopic is short term, not short term, but what we call as short-sighted problem. I like to give example, like you can see now, let's say handphone, yeah. Now most of us don't really buy camera, right? Because we take pictures using handphone. So the camera company, I mean company that produce camera, for example, like Nikon, like Kodak, like what else? Okay, they are the brand name of camera. They, of course, probably 20 years back, they never thought that they will compete with handphone, a mobile phone company, right? Because now mobile phone, for example, like iPhone, Samsung, okay, when they highlight the features of the handphone, is not really on the communication in terms of the calling, SMS, whatever, but more towards, oh, they have better camera, something like that. So this is basically what we mean by myopic. You should actually, this is something that, when we talk about vision and vision of the company, we shouldn't be focusing on the product, but actually on the benefits. For example, like if you look into Disney, they claim they are in the entertainment industry. So whatever tools, okay, that they can innovate to entertain the customers, they can venture into the industry. If they say that they are the best movie producer, for example. This is the example of myopic, in which you only see yourself as producer of movie. So it limits your expansion in the future, and you may myopic, or you may not expect actually in the future you are competing with companies who probably at that moment is not yet venturing to movie, yeah, but later they become the competitor, like the mobile phone example just now, yeah. But actually this is just to highlight on the importance of product differentiation for firms that is operating in monopolistic competition market structure. And if we look around, many companies actually operate in these types of market structure as compared to monopoly and perfect competition. All right, so here we look at the exercise a little bit. All right, so if you look into this question, this is a monopolistic competitive firm. Okay, the profit maximizing level of output is 100 units. However, it is expected that price of other close substitutes will fall in the near future. How should you adjust? Okay, so this is right, a little bit on this chapter basically, but of course your knowledge in chapter 2 also will help. Okay, we know that the substitution effect, I mean not the substitution effect, but the effect of substitutes in this case. Okay, let's say that your rival reduced the price, so what will happen to our demand just now? Okay, the demand, if we are the substitute, is expected to decrease. Okay, of course adjust variable. So how we should adjust? Okay, so of course the answer is B, right? Produce less. Yeah, because we should expect that the demand for our product will also drop because we are substitutes and our rival reduce the price. Okay. All right, the second exercise. Okay, this is okay. If you see, I don't really show how to solve the problem or how to decide on quantity, okay, profit and all those things in monopolistic competition, because the steps is exactly the same as what we have learned in monopoly. Okay, it's just that for this question they don't give you directly the what do you call it, the linear demand function, the P equal to what, but you have to transform the inverse demand function from the demand function given. Okay, this one, the Q equal to 20 minus 3P, so you have to transform this first into inverse demand function. Okay, so this is where you have to recall back what you have learned in chapter 2 on how to transform the demand function to inverse demand function. Okay, after you find the inverse demand function, then you can go to B, determine the profit maximizing price and level of production. So you have to find the Q first, right? Then only P, because in P later you have the Q in the equation. So how to get the Q? Alright, then this is where we use the rules MR equal to MC. Okay, so how you get MR? Remember, from the inverse, in which MR you have to transform from the inverse. This is where you use A plus 2BQ. Okay, so I have explained to you this one in part 3. So after you get MR, yeah, here A plus 2BQ from the inverse function, okay, you substitute here. And how you get MC? Of course, you will get from this one, okay, from the cost function. Yeah, so you equate, then you should get Okay, I give you the answer here. You should get Q equal to 5.5, and then this you substitute back in the inverse here, should get P equal to 4.83. After that, calculate your profit. The same formula, profit equal to TR minus TC. So TR, okay, P multiplied by Q, and TC, we use the cost function, substitute the Q that we have obtained in B. Okay, and then you should get this answer, all right, negative 175. Okay, so what long run adjustment should you expect? Okay, long run adjustment, remember, the firm, okay, just like in perfect competition, will only obtain what we call as normal profit or zero economics profit. However, right here we see that the profit is negative. So first, what you have to explain is because the firm get negative profits, so the many firm will exit, yeah, from the industry, exit because of the losses. So finally, the firm will only get the normal profit just now. But if you get the profit positive, then your answer will be, and the more firm will enter into industry, and then you explain, and then finally the firm will get the normal profit. Okay, so exit or enter, it depends on your answer here, whether you get profit or losses. Yeah, but of course you must have that answer in which finally they will get the normal profit now. Okay, so this is another exercise where okay, determine the profit maximizing output and price for this monopolies. Yeah, so this is basically when we see monopolies, this is actually the monopoly, yeah, and also can be the monopolistic competition because the graph is the same. Yeah, so you can look at this profit maximizing output for monopoly. What is the rules? MR equal to MC. So you find here, where is MR equal to MC? Find the price. Okay, this should be the price, and price and find the quantity. And then profit maximizing output and price for perfect competitive. So for perfect competition, then P equal to MC. Yeah, P equal to MC. Now remember that P for perfect competitive is also equal to demand. Yeah, so you can calculate later the deadweight loss of this monopoly. Okay, so deadweight loss is, yeah, it is this shape, okay, triangle. So you should be able to find the area using the triangle formula. Okay, and another thing, when we say monopolistic competition, because they have the market power like monopoly, so monopolistic competition also have this deadweight loss issue, yeah, in which they will produce lesser than perfect competition but at higher price. Okay, so you may try that exercise. So in conclusion, firms operating in perfectly competitive market are price taker, yeah. So the rules is P equal to MC. In short run, you may earn profit or loss, but in the long run, okay, there will be entry or exit, okay, that force the economic profit to zero. Okay, for monopoly, all right, they can earn profits, okay, and that okay, they can enjoy that monopoly power as long as they still hold the monopoly power. Yeah, the source is still not eliminated. Okay, for example, like the patent is still there, the regulations is still there. Yeah, and for monopolistic competitive firm, just like the perfect competition, they can earn profit in the short run, but in the long run, okay, if the new firm enter, okay, the profit will be eroded and they will get the same like perfect competition, economic profit. Yeah, so monopoly and monopolistic firm. All right, the rules is MR equal to MC, and they don't have a supply curve, yeah, because they have market power just now. Yeah, so you can see that if you remember, I draw in part 1. Okay, if we put the, let's say, monopoly here, okay, and we put the perfect competition at the right extreme, then monopolistic competition is in the middle, right? So that's why monopolistic competition, it shares a little bit characteristic of perfect competition, and it also shares a little bit of characteristic of monopoly. Okay, so that is about the market structure, okay, in which you can see that the market structure also affect how managers make decisions, and in this case, the principle that we apply is mostly the marginal principle. So we have finished all the 6 chapters. Okay, so congratulations, you have completed this um, subject for this semester, because you have completed all the chapters. Congratulations again. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.